They come with their own rings. You can get them with a chrome tip, but I want cheap ass. Doesn't bother me. It's going to be underneath my seat anyway. And you get 2 of them. Run a sound test, see if it really does make any difference. That's a stock exhaust. I haven't done anything with that. Not too loud. Not too loud and fancy though. See, we have to take out this is your air box, and probably gonna have to take off the tank. I'm gonna take off the fairings just so I can see in there a little bit better. But if you've taken off the carburetor on a motorcycle that's smaller cc anyway, taking off the carburetor is a pain in the butt. Inside there, it's really, because the air box is right here, and I mean, it's like you got no room for air. So, well, to take off your fairings, there'll be a bolt right there. These bad boys off. And then to take off your tank, I don't know about other I don't know about other motorcycles, but on the Kawasaki 250s, it's super easy. You just got to screw here, up there, and you take off 4 bolts on here, pulls right off. Your air bleed tube, these are very, very easy to get off. They're not that, you don't even need a pair of pliers. Bam. Now, the only other thing is this. You need to take off first your secondary fuel supply. Now, these might be a little bit of a pain, but it's not too bad. Pretty simple. That's about it. It just pops right off. Now this, you could shut it off if you want. I mean, it really don't matter, because these run off suction anyway. So they do leak a little bit, but that's about it. That's just from the excess in the hose. I'll just show you how easy it is to actually take off your tank. It's actually not that difficult. Don't be scared of it. And you just pull back, and the front of the tank has some pieces that just sit on these rubbers, and that's it. So this whole giant box right here, we got to take out. Now the trick of it is as far as I've seen on the internet on how to do this, because I'm kind of winging it right now. I haven't done this before, obviously. This box is actually as big as the frame is. So it's supposedly tricky to get out. We'll find out. Alright. Well, I just wanted to do a little sound check while I had it open. I know the tank ain't on there, but it'll still run, because it's badass. Maybe not. There. See, not really that loud, actually. Not very loud. Actually kind of disappointing. And that's with no tank. Sweet. Okay. There would be a rubber piece holding your actual air top on, kind of like that, but it'll be down in there. Just pull it off of here, pull it back, it'll slide out. Easy money. And then you'll want to take off your battery cables. If you've done any maintenance on anything, I mean, so far it's been relatively easy. Cake, actually. And this piece goes in here. 2 bolts, pulls right out, no trouble. Now, see these bolts, these screws, are all around this thing. Okay, this is the filter that was in it before. There's some bolts down here underneath the battery. When you take the battery out, you'll have to take them out. As well as the screws that I showed prior, all the way around this thing. I suggest getting a larger screwdriver to fit in there. This one was kind of too short for me anyway. As well as a magnet on a stick. You can make it with the refrigerator magnet on something, glue it. And I'm removing this harness here so I can see in there a little bit more. As well as there's some extra hoses that connect down here to the top of your crankcase. You'll have to disconnect them as well. And then as off of the back side, the air side of your carburetor, which is relatively very easy to take off. About 10 screws depending on what year. This year's an 07 I got, so there's 10 screws in it. Okay, once you get that all out of there, I mean, it breaks apart relatively easy. I mean, all the way down and all the way through it breaks apart. Okay, push one side down and then you pry up the other one. The side with the battery. 1 and 2. That's your air box. Lots of room in there now. Alright, got the box out. Here's your air box. And what I did is, because the air box is connected to the battery box, what I did is I cut it with the skill saw, jigsaw I guess it would be, skill saw. So I cut it off to make an individual battery box. So the battery box can go in there. And the battery box has its own bolts, so I won't be worried about that. Like so. I'll get it later. And got the air pods in, the air filters, and then put everything back on, reverse all steps, and put it back together. Okay, reversed all steps, put it all back together. Air pods are in, battery box is in, and you can see a noticeable difference of room under there. I mean, I can really get my hands in there and work now. I customized the battery box a little bit, that bolt right there, so I could use the battery strap to keep my battery from bouncing around. I don't know if you can see very well in there. That's what it looks like with the air, without the air box. Alright, we'll do a sound check. Not really any difference in idle. There's the sound. Those things really vibrate and move around when it's idling. You can see it. Not too bad. These are the tools I used. This is just Phillips, longer Phillips, and this came with the actual kit of the bike, as well as the Allen wrench. Then I suggested this before, so you don't lose screws and bolts, the magnet. You can use this that comes with your kit, if you have a kit, 10mm, to take off most of the bolts are 10mm on this job, but I have something else. It's 10mm. Saber saw for the customization of the box. This for the bolt in the box